Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wheel to Wheel, Season 11. We're up to Round 6, which is our second endurance race for the season. And we're up here with Division 3 today. We are at Watkins Glen International in the western part of New York in the United States, famous for its NASCAR and previously for Formula One and IndyCar. Joining me in the commentary box tonight, we have Apex Humper making his commentary debut. G'day, Apex.
How you going, Squiddy? So stoked to be here. Been missing out a bit with Wheel to Wheel. And,
Yeah, couldn't keep yourself away from the track, hey?
No, not at all. Yeah, it's taken a while, but here I am.
Good stuff. Good to have you here. And on visuals, we have the one and only Herbal Green Tea. G'day, Herbs.
Hey fellas, good evening. Good luck to everyone racing tonight. Yeah, make it a good one. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good one. We've got this track being a new addition to Gran Turismo 7. In fact, Gran Turismo as a whole, 3.5 mile course with 11 turns, and we should be seeing lap times around about the 146, 147 in Division 3, I would imagine. So lots of strategies, lots of time to be able to discuss this, but we'll get everyone ticked in and we will get the qualifying underway.
Who have we got on? Who are we picking? Who's our pick for tonight for pole? Just looking back at it, I've got my money on Brutal. I've watched a couple of his laps. He's putting in some pretty tidy laps.
Look, I think he might be on the money there. There's definitely Brutal has been showing quite a lot of strength. Makadaka, as we know, is also quite a strong driver here. But I'm going to throw another into the mix, and I want to say Makajak might be quite strong here as well. There's a lot of strength across this field, but there's, I'm going to put it in for Macca here.
Yeah, good picks. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. Now, as we are on our outlap for qualifying at the moment, we've got Brutal leading us around. Brutal, of course, racing for Team Dodgy Racing in that beautifully presented AMG. He's followed by MCDC in the Yeetle for Scuderia Quadrifoglio Racing under KZ and his fantastic leadership. Alrighty, behind them we have Evil 177. I believe he is in a Genesis as a privateer. Starting to see a few of those cars on the grid, and he's followed by Molten Ash racing for 13R Autosport. Chasing behind Molten Ash, we have Smurf in the Aston Martin, and Palmer also in the Aston Martin, following behind him. Of course, Palmer no longer in V-Corsa, but living the dream, still rocking his aqua and purple colours there. Following as he just crosses the start-finish line now, we have Tooligan in the BMW Z4, just rounding the first corner and keeping the tyres on the ripple strip there, avoiding a penalty. Behind him in 8th, we have CS Packer, who is racing for CP Motorsports on behalf of Bozza. Bozza wasn't able to make it tonight, so CS Packer is here tonight. Behind him, Makajak in the L-Plan Jade Finance Lexus as he bounces through that chicane. And then War Souls 71. Now, previously known as Soul Slayer, Souls is a bit of an OG in Wheel to Wheel. Now he's the reason why we're streaming Div 3 tonight. And this is our shout out to him to say, congratulations, mate, on your 200th wheel-to-wheel race. That is a absolutely incredible milestone and represents 11 seasons of consistent racing with the league. And 200 races is definitely a milestone to be celebrated. So congratulations, Soles.
Sorry, Squiddy, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. But,
That's all right.
Down in 10th, I'm following Hammy right now, another veteran to the league, and he's racing as a privateer tonight. So yeah, another guy who's been around many a season. Down in 11th, Palmer, who's also racing as a privateer in the Jag, is it?
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, sorry, yeah. Well, I'm getting some V Corsa vibes looking at this Aston Martin here.
during your technical difficulty, I said the same thing actually. He's definitely he's racing as a privateer, but I think he is he's holding on to the past. Now we see here we've got a 1:44.0 as a qualifying time for MCDC, which is pretty damn quick. I believe the Division 2 time or pole time for qualifying was in the 1:43, so that is pretty lightning from Makadaka there. Definitely been doing some practice with his teammates during the week.
Yeah, that is quite a respectable time. The Beetle goes all right around here as well. I did a few laps, and I think it's a really strong car for this combination.
Look, the Beetle goes pretty strongly everywhere, in my opinion, but I think I might be biased. Now we see Molten Ash is just coming around the last pair of corners here. He's about a second behind Makadaka's time, but he is up on his personal best. So let's see if he can, how he can close that gap as he crosses the start-finish line. It's a 1:44.9, so he's improved just under 2 tenths, but still with a massive 8-tenth gap to first place.
Yeah, that is quite the margin. It's going to be interesting to see what guys do here. I think you've got enough time for 3 or 4 flying laps. It's whether you want to... looks like these guys are going for a flyer first up, but you could have had a couple of outlaps and then got some clean air. I've got CS Packer coming out on mediums.
Yeah, interesting. Possibly not too concerned about his time and just happy to start closer to the back. He is subbing up from one of the lower divisions, so he might not be too stressed about that. But yeah, interesting. Bold strategy for him anyway. Now I did see a minute ago Macajak, who is currently in the pits. He's just exiting the pits, so we'll see when he jumps on track. He's only 6 tenths behind Makadaka, so he is actually second on the grid at the moment. So the two Macas are looking like our front row at this stage with about 3 minutes to run.
3 minutes, so I've just seen lost him now, sorry, Brutal. It looks like he's on his first flyer. He's just coming up to the end of sector 1. I'm going to keep an eye on him because
yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't we ride on with Brutal as we just see 2.7 tenths up. We'll ride on with Brutal for the lap and let's see if we can see some purple out of that beautiful Team Dodgy Racing AMG.
Yeah, not surprised at that purple sector there. It's just an absolute beast in the straight line, this AMG.
Yeah, definitely. They're a very stable car, very good all-rounder. I'm not sure how they go on fuel and tyre, but if they're any good, we might see some good things here from Brutal this evening.
Yep. So he's coming in now. Ooh, brakes nice and late. Oh yeah, you said that perfectly. Good exit.
Nice late apex there. Pumped it beautifully.
So much time's been made speed up here. You got to carry so much speed, and this exit here is crucial. Hold the power really. He's done that nicely. He's used to the track.
Yeah, definitely. Now you know this track quite well from your Assetto Corsa, or 3/10 back off Makadaka here.
Yeah, not a bad lap. Is his time up for him, I think? Is he?
He has jumped back into the pits. It looks like he might be switching over onto the medium tyre. So with 30 seconds to run, we've got Evil One just coming around his last corner now. Looking like he might be on his first flyer actually, with a 1:45.2, which places him in third place. Now I mentioned CS Packer actually running up from a lower division. He is actually fourth on the grid at the moment based on our current standings. So Packer definitely punching above his weight here in that CP Motorsports Corvette.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be stoked with that. Corvette also pretty strong combination around here. I'm not sure how it goes nowadays on the fuel in an endurance race. We'll soon see.
We will indeed. Now I believe that is time. And we will get our 34 lap race underway. What we'll see now is a lot of the guys will probably exit into the pits. They might change their tyres. Oh, we've just...
We may have had a disconnect from.
Yeah, I thought I saw Smurf disappeared.
Looks like it.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. Okay. Well, we have 3, 4, and 5 lights. Revs are coming up, lights are out, and we are running. Now we do have Smurf just joined the room. I'm actually going to call a red flag at this point. I did give a 1 minute warning, and we didn't have that full minute served, so I'm going to red flag. That's going to be a problem for... That is going to be a problem for quali.
And it was an absolute disaster at turn 1. I think maybe they anticipating it, or I'm not sure, but yeah, it's unfortunate for sure.
It is unfortunate. Now, in order to reset the grid, we are going to have to run it again. We won't run a full 10-minute quali. I would recommend we do a 5-minute quali, which should work as an out lap and 2 hot laps, and we will run that right now. And that's in the interest of time.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I think quite a few of the drivers on the grid will be quite pleased with that. I witnessed yeah, an interesting turn 1 there for some drivers, but I'll be counting their lucky stars.
All right, so I'm just setting this up now. This is a bit unorthodox, unfortunately, but unfortunately we got to think on the fly. We have 11 drivers in. All right. All right, let's call pit open. Let's get this underway.
We've got a few guys still on the mediums. They're going to want to change.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I usually in these instances, if someone disconnects like that, we would let them go. But unfortunately, we did have the host start the race prior to that full minute elapsing. So I'm not sure that that's fair on Smurf. So we'll get everyone out there. We'll get our 2 laps of quali done. Well, sorry, 1 out lap and 2 hot laps, I should say, and then we'll crack on. I think this is the fairest way to get it done for everyone, and hopefully we can avoid a bit more carnage on the grid this time as well.
Yeah. It's always good when you get a second chance. I've been on the end of that and many times, and yeah, I'd be stoked right now as one of the drivers. All with Brutal, he's not mucking around. He's out. He's got clean air. He should get a punch out a pretty good lap here.
Yeah, I've found myself on the flip side of this as well. It might have actually been Suzuka earlier this season, but I had I can't remember. I had a cracking time, and I just sat on the pole, and and it was taken away from me in the rerun, so I missed out on it. But them's the breaks, I guess. It is what it is. Okay, so
we've got MC still on the mediums. I'm not sure if he knows.
He might whip into the. He might just use one of his burn one of his hot laps and whip into the pits now. No, he's just going to run it on the mediums. Okay.
At least, I hope what we're seeing is accurate.
Yeah, I'm not aware of a tyre glitch, but I've seen.
Swerve on the mediums. He's looking like he might be. I think he's looking to try and get around.
He's staying out as well. Okay, well, I think these guys are just throwing caution to the wind, and they're sending it as it is. But again, I think it's probably a good one. We'll ride on with Brutal and see what he can do, and see if he can get himself to the top of that leaderboard ahead of Makadaka.
Yeah, absolutely. With only two chances at Flyers, it does sort of force you to play it a little bit safer. It'll be interesting to see what times they do finish out.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll do a very short break after the qualifying, so that the drivers can change their tyres if they need to, and then we'll jump straight into it. So Brutal keeping it very tidy, actually, running his left tyres just out over the ripple strip there, takes a late apex here into the hairpin. Yeah, no brakes there, just a lift. Runs it all the way wide and cuts that pit entry line right out to the wall. Beautifully done by Brutal there.
Yeah, nicely done.
And that's a 1:44.3, not bad. Makadaka 7/10 behind on those medium tyres. It'll be Evel will be the next one, 3/10 behind him. Palmer crossing with 3/10 behind him, so we're in order of. There we go, Molten Ash up there. Molten Ash done quite well there, just 5/10 back behind Brutal.
Yeah, now it's all on. I think they'll be happy with those laps, and they can just sort of maybe just push it a little bit harder on this lap. I think it will die now.
That's right. Once you got your banker in, just I think Brutal will be balls to the wall for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I just missed this last second. Ooh, a little bit. It's managed to hold it. Nice exits using this track about it. It's late apexing beautifully.
Last couple of corners for Brutal, and as the rest of the field comes around, that'll be it for our shortened second round of qualifying. And he's improved with a 1:43.7. That's lightning. Beautifully done, Brutal. Molten Ash.
Oh, Molten Ash pulls it out.
Oh, actually, no, sorry, my mistake. He Brutal's just exited to the pits. That's what's happened. I thought Molten Ash had taken it there, but his last time he did improve a 144.874. But that's about a second back from Brutal there. So as the final drivers now cross the line.
Okay, so I've just, it looks like I've got some sort of timing.
Yeah, I do as well. It should reset shortly.
Alright. Yeah, Brutal's swings. Yeah, okay, Brutal's. Looks like he may start on the mediums up front. So many options here where you can do. It's like the majority of them are going to be jumping.
Alright, so we've called 30 seconds to start. We should see all of the changes required happening now as the drivers wait, doing donuts at the end of turn 1.
Standard.
Look, it is. It absolutely is. Here we go. We are 10 seconds out and we'll be lined up on the grid. Now, I reckon we ride on board with about 4th or 5th place there, Herbs, and we'll be able to see what's happening all the way up the grid. Alright, lights are building. 5 lights, and lights are out. Got a pretty clean start across the board. Palmer with a cracker of a start around the left-hand side of Maccajack. Molten Ash moves to the outside of the track. We look to be getting through. We are through turn 1 cleanly. A little bit of a scrap between Souls and Tooligan, but Tooligan out in front in 9th place. Brutal definitely holding on to his place in 1st, followed by Molten Ash, Macadaca, and Palmer as they approach in single file the chicane. Still in single file, Ervil down there in 6th, watching it unfold ahead of him. Brutal and Molten Ash seem to have formed a bit of a gap and are pushing ahead. There's quite a mix through the field of the soft and medium tyres. So we're led around by Brutal on the medium tyres and Molten Ash. But back in 4th place, we've got Palmer on the soft tyres. He's definitely going to have superior grip and will be wanting to get past, but I'm not sure that he's going to have the opportunity to do so. All the cars keeping it quite clean, quite together. No major moves yet by the look of it. Palmer, I think we're best to look at Palmer there, Herbs, and we'll see what can be done here between Palmer and Macadaca. You'll be very keen to get past, and he'll try to flex that superior grip. He also, in that Aston Martin, should have additional power over the Beetle, so if he can use that. There looks to be a little bit of contact. Unsure. He did get past. It's Ervil up the inside though. We're 3 wide through turn 2. Macca looks to be bounced a little bit into the fence there. Ervil is also on the soft tyres, so we've got both he and Palmer are now going to be scrapping to try and take the lead, but that gap has opened up to 1.6 seconds from those 2 cars up to Molten Ash in 2nd. So that scrapping there has definitely opened it up a little bit for those 2 front runners to clear the other medium runners, but that gap is closing very rapidly, now down to 8/10 with Ervil absolutely on fire. He's left Palmer behind him a full second.
Sorry about that. More difficulties. It wouldn't be normal otherwise.
All good. It is. Technical difficulties are the name of the game. So we've got Brutal at 1.3 seconds in front of Molten Ash, who is happily holding his own, but soon to fend off an attack from Evil. Evil is leading Palmer by 9/10, and Palmer is holding Macadacker at bay, and actually opening that gap, I should say, out to 8/10 now, as we see those soft tyres on the Aston Martin really working for Palmer. Looking back through the field. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
These soft runners, even if Palmer, are going to really be wanting to clear these medium runners in front as soon as possible. You can lose so much time through the middle field, so they'll be wanting to push here.
Definitely making that increasing that early lead while you can, and while you've got the fresh tyres and the clear air, will definitely be the first thing on Brutal's mind. But we see Evil with his 6.5 tenths purple in his first sector, and in that very evil looking blacked out Genesis.
He's going to go for no, but he's not going to go for the move here.
He's definitely riding Molten Ash, and Molten Ash is he'd be waiting for it, and I don't think he'll put up too much of a fight. You know, we've got 32 laps to go. Molten Ash is a smart driver, and I think he'll be pretty happy to let Evil past, sit in his slipstream while he can, but let him go.
Yep, he's got these soft runners backed up now, Molten Ash, but it's whether these guys know. These guys might not know which tyre Molten Ash is on. They might be happy to sit and save fuel and then get caught out in the pits. But yeah, we'll see. I'd say coming into Sector 1, I think we're going to see some moves here.
Yeah, absolutely. Palmer is absolutely riding Evil here. He's keen for Evil to get going, and Molten Ash has hit the fence. This is going to open it up for Palmer up the inside. He's going to take Evil here, and now he's going to take Molten Ash as well. So, absolutely. And, it's Macadacker up the inside as well. He's taken Evil one, and he's on the medium tyres, so definitely disadvantaged there by that little tap between Evil and Molten Ash. And Evil's managed to pick up some front end damage to boot. We know that the recent update of Gran Turismo has changed the damage model, I suppose you could put it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Evil there. He's he's dropped a couple of places. Lost out to 2 medium runners, so work to do. Evil, Brutal's loving it. He's extended a wee bit, and his tyres are still looking pretty good, while the others, because of all that,
he's walking away off into the distance, and again, he's on the medium tyres, so it's sort of not what you'd expect necessarily, but with those soft runners caught up in the pack, he's without an option, or I guess without rival at the moment.
Yeah, it's about the best start you could have on a medium tyre up front, and Palmer is closing in, but his tyres are starting to look a little bit worse from here. He's not going to be able to do too much if he does catch up.
Just looking at Evil driving, you can see the red mist. He wants to get past. He's trying everything he can, but he's running out of laps and he's running out of grip. So whether he can make this stick, we'll see. But even just through that little sequence there, he's actually dropped back off Macca. So the edge that he previously had with those soft tyres might be starting to fall back.
Yeah, I'm just down and watching Soulslayer here. He's had a wee bit of a battle with Packer, and Packer's picked up a penalty, so we should see him make a move shortly, both on the medium tyre.
Yeah, the tyre burn zone. The penalty burn zone is quite late in the lap, and this BRZ against that Corvette in a straight line is woeful. Oh,
That was mighty close to the wall there.
Yep.
you don't want to tag that wall. Yeah.
I'd be
But
very
yeah,
nervous.
BRZ through sector 1, it's a sitting duck, but from there on out, it's just on rails.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
through this section. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can make a lot of ground here, but you need to be prepared to send it and get the moves done.
Well, Soul Slayer's here for his 200th race, and he's got some experience in sending it, so we'll see what happens. He's definitely closing in on Packer here. The gap now down to 1.2 seconds. Now that was a 1 second penalty. Usually that loses you about 2 to 2.5 seconds. So
Yeah.
the gap definitely closing through the tight bits, but we'll see Packer walk away again on the long straights.
Yeah, absolutely. Just flicking back up to... Yeah, so Palmer's... I'd say Palmer's tyres are gonna... Yeah, I'd say he'll be in this lap. The gap to Brutal's been... he's holding the gap to Brutal. It's floating around that 2.3, 2.4 second mark, so...
Those tyres on Palmer though are looking very worse for wear, so we'll catch up with that very shortly. But as we see, actually,
Yep,
he's run wide. It's Molten Ash up the inside.
Yeah, that's the risk you take, unfortunately.
Yeah, Palmer absolutely going to be jumping into the pits now. You're right, he took a risk, and unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him on that 6th lap. I think 5 laps is probably the maximum you want to be pushing those.
Yep,
Judging by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
Evil One's done a bit of a recovery. He's right on Molten Ash now. He's on the mediums. But again, his tyres looking, say he'd be in this lap.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see what plays out. We know the 13R boys are they like to run a bit of a longer stint and save the tyres. Oily and Jonesy in particular. So whether Molten Ash does the same, we will see. But that's going to be Evil in the pits. It's going to be Palmer in the pits, and it looks like it's going to be Tooligan in the pits. So they will be coming out at the back of the pack. Packer and Souls are going to stay out, and unsure on Smurf at this stage. So we might take this moment just to have a bit of a shout out to one of our sponsors. Jade Finance is our naming rights sponsor for this season. And we do have a commercial that we can play for them a little bit later. But Jade Finance Australia is a commercial lending specialist who look after new and used lending for cars, boats, caravans, trucks, and plant machinery. So have a look at their website, which is www.jade.finance, or contact them by phone on 1300 000 003 to find out more. Back out on the track, we have Brutal opened his lead up to 5 seconds. It's very commanding at this point.
Yeah, he's. I've just been on him for a lap. He's pushing quite hard. He's extending that lead. He'll be happy with the start. The soft run is getting caught up. I've just jumped on Evil out of the pits. He's 26 behind the leader now, and I think it's about 22, 23 seconds for a tyre change. So just see Evil One's flying. Evil One's putting out some good laps now. He's recovered a wee bit from that little mishap earlier.
Ooh, he gets a little bit taily out of that left-hander there. Still with those tyres, probably a little bit cold, but he is coming around for his first flying lap on the new tyres.
thinking in terms of strategy. I see a few guys are quite happy to go the 8 on the mediums.
Yeah, 8. As I said with 13R, those boys have been focusing a lot more on longer stints and saving fuel. And to be frank, this season it's worked out for them. They've done a really good job. So if Molten Ash is running something like that, I think we're going to be more likely to see 10 laps or so out of a set of mediums, and maybe 6, even possibly 7 on the softs, if he can look after them. But if he ends up getting caught in a scrap, then we're likely to see what happened with Palmer, where the tyres just end up delaminating and he has no grip and it's like driving on ice. So I think a conservative type of strategy. We're going to see 8 lap stints probably on the mediums and 5 lap stints or so on the softs. But this is anyone's game. Each car drives differently, and we're going to see a lot of different strategy across the board.
Yeah. So we're looking at the 3-stopper, the 4-stopper, depending on the car, depending on how you can manage your tyres. So. So 8 on the mediums, 1 on the mediums, a couple of stints on the softs, or if you can, go longer on the mediums, it could really pay off at the end.
Well, that's right. I'm just looking at our top 3 at the moment. We've got Brutal and Macca are both looking quite similar on at least their front tyre wear, which is quite low at the moment. But Molten Ash is probably still there with about 30% of his tyres. So Molten Ash definitely will have more grip, but as for whether he's going to use that grip to try and keep it in front of Makadaka, or and then pit on the same strategy, or whether he's going to stay out a bit longer, we'll see. But I definitely think we'll see Brutal and Makadaka in this lap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Brutal's got options here. If he wants his lead, I think the undercut's worth about 2 seconds here on softs. If we've seen see what he does and comes out on. So yeah, Megadecker's going to be at Brutal's end.
So Molten Ash is the unknown part of this equation. What's Molten Ash going to do?
He's out for another lap, so...
He is indeed. Let's see, so Brutal's in with 43%. Makadaka is in with 50%. He's done a great job saving fuel in that Beetle. We see Hammy in with 45% as well in that beautifully presented BMW. Souls is entering as well, and of course Evil is staying out, having already pitted. Souls with a bit of front right damage as well, so possibly clipped the wall there on exit from that small hairpin. Now we've got Packer, Tooligan and Palmer quite close together here in 8th, 9th and 10th. It looks like Palmer might be looking for a move up onto Tooligan here. Now Packer's on the soft tyre, so he might be looking to clear ahead. Those other 2 drivers are in it to win it.
Yeah, Brutal out again on the mediums, Evil 1. Just trying to work out. Yeah, I think what's an Evil 1? I think he's made up quite a bit of ground relative to the leader, and yeah, it's going to be interesting here. I think Evil 1 may pit Molten Ash. Let's see, 23 seconds for a stop, and also gaining on Brutal. So these two are gonna be chasing each other most of the race, I'd say.
I think you're right. There we go. Moltenash in at the end of his 10th lap with 38% fuel remaining, so he's done quite well on fuel as well. This is with 38% fuel. If he's going to switch to soft, he probably won't need to put anything in the tank. But if he's going to go back out for another 10-lap medium stint, we might see him fuel back up. Here we go on softs. So where is he going to be? It's going to be close, but he is behind Brutal. Will he also be behind?
He's come out ahead.
He has. Well executed by Moltenash. So he had about, what did we say, 38% to run soft. So that's going to be roughly 5. He might get 6 laps here out of his soft tyres.
Yeah, he's done well there. He might have been looking back a wee bit. He's thought maybe track position, maybe come out ahead. Going to be fighting, getting stuck back getting held up around here. It's going to be quite a mission to pass. You definitely don't want to be held up around here. He might have been quite happy to use up his softs and stay up the front.
Yeah, that's right. There's Brutal is. I'm just trying to look at that gap between Brutal and Moltenash, and for a second I thought it looked like it was closing. So Moltenash might actually be ready to launch an assault on. Yeah, it would be because he's on soft. Moltenash is on soft.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's looking like it. Sector 1. Oh, Evil's dropped off a little bit.
just looking back through the pack. Yeah, you're right.
He'll be hoping to get within slip Moltenash on Brutal here because he doesn't want to be held up for the sector 1.2 at the moment.
Yeah, we are quite spread out through the pack, so this is definitely the one to watch at the moment. He doesn't get a fantastic exit out of there, so we see that that big Mercedes start stomping away. Although, here we go, he's reeling him in again. That Supra actually has quite a lot of high RPM speed. That's interesting. It's quite a good all-rounder, that Supra, actually. Which the Team Dodgy Racing boys would know, of course, having run it last season.
Just on CS Packer, he's set the fastest lap of the race. Just set the fastest lap of the race. He's right on Hammy, who's on the mediums. Looking for a move. Maybe.
See what happens. He's definitely got the grip. And he's definitely got the power. Oh, he's got a good exit too. The inside, and yeah, Hammy's backed off to let him pass. It's nicely done by Packer there.
Yeah, nice and clean to see.
It has been actually very clean here from the Div 3 guys tonight. It's been awesome to see. Alright, so we're under a second gap between Brutal and Moltenash as we enter Sector 1.
Ooh, he's got
See
a
what this
wee
Super
bit wide
can do.
Moltenash. Within slip though, the Supra's quite a monster up hill here.
I don't think he'll be able to get it done for this one, but he will be right behind for this next sequence.
Yep.
Bit squirrely there for Brutal as he comes out of the chicane.
He's right on him now. He's got to be careful here. It's, he needs to get fast, but he doesn't want to,
Doesn't want to fry those tyres.
No.
got a lot riding on it. If he's running those longer stints, he certainly needs to look after them. He's put his nose in. It hasn't worked out for him, unfortunately. Brutal gets the jump and is now 8/10 up.
This could be it. Could be it here.
A good exit out of here. In slipstream. He'll be home. That's Evel into the pits as well with 10% fuel remaining. Packer as well. Gap's closing, but it's not quick enough.
Yeah, just not quite there. He's gone purple into his sector. That may appear if he can't find a way past Brutal.
I half expected him to send it around the outside there. But he's playing that long game. He's not letting it. He's not letting sitting behind go to his head. He's just playing it cool. Probably waiting for Brutal to make a mistake, to be honest.
Yeah, Brutal will be quite happy with this. He's still got softs up his sleeve, and if he can force other cars to use up theirs behind him, it's quite a. It's always good when that happens in an endurance race.
It is, although Ash has actually, well, because he started on mediums, he's used both tyre compounds, so he doesn't need to switch between. So what Molten Ash chooses next will actually be very telling. Whether he goes in for mediums or whether he goes in for softs again, could be race defining here.
Yeah, I've just seen Brutal. He's gone defensive into turn 1. He's not wanting he wants this position up front, and he's Molten Ash is much closer now, coming up the hill within striking distance or so.
Definitely within striking distance. This could be it.
Oh, he's given him a signal.
Interesting. Not the best place for it, but or a bit late, I should say. But either way, it's done. Molten Ash is in front now, just on 4/10 ahead. But his fuel light is now flashing, so he'll get to finish this lap and he'll have about one more lap of fuel now. So I can't help but think that Molten Ash actually has a lot more life left in his tyres than he does in his fuel tank. So he could have run a longer stint here. Back through the pack, there's not too much. We are quite spread out, actually.
Yeah, I'm just watching Hammy and Palmer seem to be about the closest out of everyone else. Hammy much better tyres, so we'll see Palmer in this lap, so that's gonna be over in a minute. Brutal still holding on to Molten Ash. He's within strike. He could. Yeah, it'd be interesting. He's doing well on the mediums.
I think we might see a bump from Brutal here. He knows Ash is on the softer tyre, and he might just be keen to break away, use that slipstream to help him get the boost. Now, I've just seen Evil One is in the pits and has been for about a minute now. He's not changed tyres. He's got engine damage.
Ooh.
But there is nothing going on there. So I'm not sure if I'm glitching or if that's it forever.
Yeah, I'm not sure there. He's definitely, I've missed that. He's definitely had maybe
And
contact coming into that through that last sector. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
of course, as I've gone and started talking about that, somehow Brutal is now in front with Molten Ash behind by 2.9 seconds. So there's definitely something's transpired there.
Yeah, not sure there. No damage to Molten Ash. Maybe just a bit of a moment coming through the chicane.
Yeah, could well have been, but Ash will definitely be into the pits this lap anyway. Unlikely to see Brutal go in for at least another 3 to 4 laps yet, based on his fuel load, I'd say. Alright, it's Maccajack in third, also into the pits as Molten Ash times that perfectly, entering with 0% fuel. Maccajack is staying out on his mediums with about a quarter tank left. And Hammy remaining out as well in that BMW.
Yeah, I've lost track a wee bit with some of the field, but I'm watching our veteran Soul Slayer. He's prioritising fuel here. He's saving a ton of fuel in the BRZ. Might be playing the long game. You can make up quite a bit of time in the pits, saving fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that BRZ is actually quite fuel efficient. Well, I suppose you know your boys were running it last season. Does it carry fuel quite well?
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just yeah. When you have to fuel, it's quite not the best in a straight line and under accelerating out of corners. So fuel saving's quite a task. Traffic, you just yeah, it is. I found it's all right. I don't know what the other cars are like, but 14 laps into the tank if you're not saving.
Interesting. You're not wrong though. He's definitely seems to be prioritising fuel. I'd say he'll be in for tyres within a few laps, but he's doing all right up there in 6th. He's losing time to Maccajack, but Maccajack is on a beautiful fresh pair of mediums there, so not surprising.
Yeah, and Ash he's opted for the mediums, so not sure. Yeah, you had the option to maybe go softs to the end, and he's just
Wide, so there's.
wide.
I wonder if that'll be a penalty. I think he stayed off. There he is, half second. Yeah, just looking at his fuel load, I think he's likely to run his 10 laps on mediums here and then jump back in to the pits, and he'll fill up to full to run his medium and his softs off the... Whoa, what has happened there with Molten Ash?
No, he's caught damage. I'm not sure what's happened there.
I'm not sure how that happened. He looked like he just ended up veering left into the fence. So he could have a technical failure with his wheel, or it could have been that he's snagged a little bit of grass with his rear wheel and it's thrown him about. But that is very unfortunate for Molten Ash. Definitely lost a lot of time there.
Yeah, picked up damage. Carrying a penalty too.
looking up the front, we have Brutal still quite a commanding lead. Is fuel lights flashing, so probably a couple of laps worth of fuel left. Medium's looking quite worse for wear. Makadaka behind him in second with an 11-second gap. He's also not looking great on tyres, but definitely saving more fuel. What is happening? Makadaka has speared out to the right of the chicane there, and it just looks like he's, again, just the car's just rotated on him.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. There's a bit of a bump going in, and with old tyres, it can just so quickly spit you out. And it's
very unlucky, but Brutal absolutely capitalising on this. I can't help but think I've put the commentator's curse on both of those poor guys.
yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm on board with Mackajack. Sorry, he's got a nice healthy amount of fuel, fresh tyres.
So he's the next one you're just lining up, are you? We'll talk about him so you can see him exit the track. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking at these gaps and I'm looking at his fuel and thinking he's gonna make up a whole lot of time come time to pit.
Yeah, we haven't spent too much focus on Mackajack here, but he's a bit of a dark horse, and he's just been quietly getting it done, honestly. You know, he's driving quite nice lines. It looks like he's looking at his lap times, he's in the 46s and 47s, so just consistently plugging along, which is good. Shout out to everyone watching on in the chat as well. Feel free, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like and say hello. Good to see Zoo and Gimpman and Wrestler in the chat as well, and of course the one and only Zedi. It's been a long time, but I understand that we might all have a little bit of a Zedi back in the Discord soon, so watch this space.
So I see Brutal's come back out on the mediums again, so he's probably quite happy with where he's sitting. He's maybe saving the softs to a fast finish. Yeah, things are going pretty well for him at the moment, I would say. Maybe a wee bit of a battle for second and third coming up. We've got Macadaka on fresh tyres, and Jack slightly more tyres. Gap's coming down, so we could see a move coming up soon.
Now, just to point out as well, Brutal having come out in first place after pitting as well, so such was his lead that he's able to hold on to that through the pit stop. So Brutal absolutely turned it up to 11 tonight.
Yeah, he's doing well, pretty consistent times. Yeah, he's having a great race. To be expected, currently leading Div 3 at the moment.
Yeah, definitely leading Div 3. In fact, our top three there are Brutal, Makadaka, and Molten Ash.
Yeah, we just had Macadaka and Mackajack's almost side by side into the chicane there, and someone's back
Still
down.
going on.
Yep. Yeah, these two are looking very racy. Macadaka on the fresh tyres. He's showing the nose. He's playing
Letting him
those
know he's
games.
there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of fun playing games like this, I must say. Borderline there with the track limits.
Yeah, he was, but Maccajack definitely feeling the pressure here. That Beetle can brake very late, and it corners like it's on rails. So let's see what happens down the main straight. It's a good exit.
He's smart. He'll hold off here and just. Oh, okay, he's
not doing that.
No, he's gone for it,
which could open the door for Macca to just take it right back.
Yeah, he's got an exit. It's going to be who's got the better straight line speed here. He can tuck it in and get a late move.
Not quite enough speed advantage, and Andy's gone defensive. Very late braking there by Maccajack, I should say, MCDC. And that gap starts to open up.
Yeah.
MCDC driving for Scuderia Quadrifoglio, which is sponsored by Hybrid Ag. Now, Hybrid Ag is on a mission to transform food for health. By working with forward-thinking growers and the latest in science research, Hybrid Ag are the leading in the industry in plant nutrition systems to grow healthier, bigger and more sustainable crops. So if you'd like to find out more about Hybrid Ag, head to their website, www.hybridag.com.au.
We've just got Molten Ash now coming right up to the back of Maccajack. But Maccajack with the much better fuel, so that option to fill up the tank could be, could play into his hands quite nicely.
Now I'm seeing a blue flag waving. Why am I seeing a blue flag? Because that is Smurf in 10th. Obviously not having a race to remember here. With Maccajack looking to get past very soon, so Smurf will keep out of the way. Smurf returning tonight actually after a bit of a hiatus. I think he's injured himself, so he's had a bit of time away from wheel to wheel, or time a bit away from racing. What are we going to see?
I've just seen Molten Ash just got the move done on Maccajack into the chicane.
Oh, this is carnage. Oh, this is carnage. What's happening?
Smurf's done well there to try and keep out of the way. And
just an unlucky place to be for that little bit. But yep, we're all through, all three.
Yeah, so Molten Ash is making his way through. Yeah, but yeah, Maccajack's fuel is it's gonna help him out a lot here. Times a bit. I'm assuming these guys are all racing for position now.
What are we? We're at 23 laps, so we're probably within the next 2 laps. We'll see the first of the cars fueled to the end, fueled and tired to the end. Don't know that we had 11 laps out of a set of mediums yet, but. Having said that, Packer is on a fresh set of mediums, although he's fueled to full, so fueled to full, I should say. So we'll, I think Packer's likely to throw a set of softs on between now and the end of the race. So I think we're all looking at one more pit stop across the board.
Yeah, and Brutal with a 14-second gap to P2 at the moment, with soft still up his sleeve. He still has to use the soft tyre, so still looking like he's is looking pretty solid up the front at the moment. And yeah, Macadac, Molten Ash, Macajack. It's going to be an interesting fight for that podium spot, I would say.
Field a little bit spread out, Herbs. I reckon it might be a good time for us to chop to an ad break and hear a couple of words from our sponsors.
Let's do it.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike license? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
Alright, welcome back to the action. We still have Brutal out the front with a Brutal lead of 13.2 seconds. Macadaca in that Beetle in second place, leading Molten Ash in third. And we're just seeing the clouds are coming in a little bit over the track here. The track temp is cooling and just getting a little bit misty here. Macajack has jumped in to the pits to throw on a fresh set of soft tyres. He's off the mediums now onto the softs. I don't believe he took any fuel, and he is 22 seconds behind Molten Ash, so really keen to run him down. I think, and I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I think that Brutal is the only driver at the moment who has yet to run the soft tyres. So Brutal up the front there with probably about 4 laps left of fuel, so I think we might see Brutal into the pits and onto the soft tyres to finish.
Yeah, I'm looking at Macajack's gap to Molten Ash, about 22 seconds, which is about the time of a tyre change, but it looks like Ash is going to have to take onto some fuel, and about 28 seconds to Macadaca, so who's on the mediums currently. So it's going to be really interesting to see where he comes out, Macadaca comes out in relation to Macajack. 27 seconds to gap now with a lap to go, maybe 2 laps to go, so he's going to be pushing to come out P2, I think, Macajack.
Just as an aside, we've got Evil One back on track. On lap 15, he was in the pits for about 10.5 minutes, so something's happened, but he is back out on track. He is racing, and he is on lap 21, so he's dropped about 4 laps, unfortunately. Up the front, Brutal is, there we go, I was going to say Brutal is struggling here with Tooligan, who is lapped. He wanted to get past, and the opportunity has presented itself, so Brutal just rounding turn 1, and still about 11.5 seconds back to MCDC.
looking at Brutal's, he's 27 now. I don't know if he's going to go 6 or 7 on the softs. At this stage, it's not going to matter too much.
Now, 4th and 5th, just seen Palmer make a good move on Hammy. Palmer is on the medium tyres, a bit more grip, but let's see. Hammy might be setting up for a re-attack here. He's got a bit more speed through sector 1. Palmer's gone defensive.
Yeah, that Beamer as well, no slouch on a straight line. He's
I think it's actually quite an underrated car, that Beamer. I'm a big fan of the M6.
Yeah, it's quite a strong car around here. It's quite popular in the daily races, the FIA races, along with the Genesis. Yeah, I really rate it around here. And I'm just looking, Mackajack, the gap to MC/DC still holding around 28 seconds, and he's going to have to go quite long on the softs here. And MC/DC may have to take on a wee bit of fuel. It's going to be a really good battle. I'm not certain whether MC/DC's used his softs yet. If he hasn't, it's going to be quite a fight for the end for B2, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether we're on effective lead at the moment. I don't know where we stand and who's gonna who still needs to pit between these two. As you said, it's a tall order to ask for an additional 7 laps out of these soft tyres for Mackajack. But we've got MC/DC, who we know is going to need to pit once more and likely put on a new set of softs. So if Mackajack can stretch his softs, which I don't think is possible, but if he can stretch them, then there's a chance that that he could stay out in front, but it could be close.
Yeah, 7. So he pitted, 7 or 8 laps on the softs. So it is quite an ask. It's going to be. I'm expecting Brutal to be in this lap and see what kind of times he can punch out on the softs. He may get caught up in traffic.
Palmer as well, having done a pretty good job to keep it up in 4th after that after his little excursion, after he managed to delaminate his front left tyre. He's done well to reel it back in. So Palmer looking pretty good. There's Brutal into the pits.
Not quite at the pit box yet. I think he's going to have to take on a bit of fuel. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's out.
Soft tyres. Yeah, he was just on the exit there, but he's soft tyres and 40% less. Oh no, and he's copped. He's crossed the pit entry line.
Yeah, that line just has no sense of humour. You just have to look at it sometimes.
That's unfortunate. It's a 3-second penalty, but he's going to lose 4.5 to 5 seconds out of that, with a 16-second gap to MC/DC. We know he needs to pit in that Beetle, so I don't think that he is a threat to Brutal at this time, but it's still, Brutal's going to be kicking himself after that.
Yeah, he's had such a clean, composed race up the front. That's probably really annoyed him. But we'll serve this and then carry on. Maybe push for fastest lap. I'm not sure. He doesn't really need to do much. The only real threat to him is Mackajack, but like you said, going 7 or 8 laps on the softs is not sure if it's possible.
even in that lap or two since we've talked about it, he's gone from sort of 70% tread down to about 50. The soft tyres just do not last. Now the grip difference that Macca's likely to be feeling isn't that much. The softs actually feel quite good until the grip is quite low, but they fall off a cliff, as we saw with Palmer. That the last little bit of those tyres, it just turns you from having some control to driving on ice. And here's Macca into the pits. He was awfully close to that line. I wonder if there's 3 seconds in it for Macca as well.
Yeah, so he's gone with the 2 softens. Okay, so
very quick pit stop from him. No fuel taken, just straight out on the softs. This is a sprint to the finish for Macca now.
yeah, we've got MCDC out on softs, Brutal out on softs in front. Just over 9 second gap to the leader. Anything's possible. Brutal will be with that penalty. He's going to have to really keep his composure here, I think.
Now Palmer we've got in third. He's going to have to pit again, so he'll I would say it'll be the end of this lap. He'll jump in, he'll throw a quick set of softs on and a little bit of fuel and crack on, and I think that's probably going to drop him down into about 6th. I'd like to see whether he comes out in front or behind Hammy, but it'll be quite close there, I think, between Hammy and Palmer. Hammy, of course, is freshly tyred, freshly fueled. He's good to go for the end, and he's on those soft tyres, so all-out sprint for Hammy here. Packer down in 7th is a little bit lonely running his own race back there, but he's on the soft tyres, very comfortable on fuel in that Corvette, and still rocking the fastest lap with a 144.9. Now, as we see these other drivers sort of low fuel loads and fresh softs, whether Packer can hold on to that fastest lap remains to be seen, but good luck to him. Tooligan having a little bit of a race to forget, I think. It looks like he's had a couple of higher lap times, which indicate that he might have had a bit of a spin or an excursion, but unfortunately, and likewise with Souls down there in 9th.
Just seen Brutal go half a 10th purple in the sector 1 there, so he's on for a chance here at snatching it. Gap coming down slowly to MCDC. It's come down half a second. It's sort of fluctuating a wee bit. Can't afford a mistake. Brutal.
Yeah, that'd be the ultimate betrayal to himself at this point. But what is it? An 8-second difference it's looking like. Both drivers going hard on the soft tyres.
Just going to see here. He's lost the purple. We have another shot at it the next lap. And MCDC's purple going into the second to last turn and dropping the gap to Brutal as well, over a second over this lap. So
let's see what he can do. He's done it by 2/10.
nicely done.
Very nicely done. We're down to 7.5 seconds between Macca and Brutal with 3 laps to go. 2 seconds a lap after Brutal's shown such a dominant performance this race. I think is probably too much to ask, but that gap is closing undeniably. So you never say never.
Yeah, we've got Brutal approaching lap traffic as well, hoping... Oh no, sorry, I got that wrong. Yeah, yes, he's coming up to lap traffic, hoping that they doesn't get caught up.
It's 4 tenths he's just taken out of Brutal. Now 5 tenths, 6 tenths since the start of the lap. Now who is
On
that
the
lap
fresher
traffic?
tyre.
Yeah, that's right. He's using that he's flexing that. So that looks like Evil and Smurf are the lap traffic ahead of Brutal there. 6.8.
Oh,
So
okay,
MC's... Yeah, go ahead.
we've got Soul Slayer just ahead of, I think, in this one. Soul Slayer's just ahead of Brutal. Brutal's coming up very quickly. With 2 laps to go.
That's 1.6 seconds that the MCDC has just taken out of Brutal on that lap. This is going to be close. Although, I mean, looking at the tyre wear though,
Yeah,
MC's, there's a lot of rubber left on the road and not much on the tyre at this point for Makadaka, but he's sending it as hard as he can.
Brutal's gone purple. CDC's down slightly. Under 6 seconds now though, the gap.
Oh, he's down to 5.2, 5.1. This section here, like the BRZ, this is the section that Beetle's going to shine. It's high downforce, and he can brake really, really late. It's that it's just such a light car. So we're at 4.8 seconds now.
Ooh, Brutal needs to be all eyes
Very
on the road.
tactful.
He needs to be just eyes on the road, not looking at that delta whatsoever. Hoping. Not sure if he's going to catch Soul Slayer here.
We've got Broken Spoke in the chat. He's a bit concerned for his teammate here, but showing the support, which is great to see.
Almost down to under 4 seconds.
And these two, Molten Ash on the medium tyres, these two have left him for dead. It's it's dog eat dog out there.
Looks like Soul Slayer's pulled over to... Well, he's let Brutal through.
Brutal probably wanted to use his slipstream. He'll be cursing.
Again,
Yeah, I think-
4.5, 1 lap to go. It's...
Yeah, I
Is
think
Brutal
we're at
makes a
equilibrium
mistake
now. That difference between that really fresh soft tyre and the slightly worn one, I think, is now gone.
Brutal's... He's had a moment at the chicane. He's lost about a second by the looks of it. He's down to 3.3 seconds now.
You can
Just
see
ran
the
the grass,
hunger in
yeah.
MC's eyeballs.
You can taste it. You can taste him now. Brutal can probably see him. He's with dirty tyres from cutting that grass. He's Soul Slayer.
However this goes, this is going to be an epic finish. Soul Slayer is sandwiching these two drivers who are on for the race lead, and it's through no fault of his own, but it could be.
He's taking it nice and just doing what he needs to, Brutal, to get around these last few corners.
2.2 seconds the gap, 2.1 with 2 corners to go.
Yeah, early upshifts, he's minimising. He's doing well here, Brutal, just down to 1.7 the gap.
The gap to third now out to 20 seconds. They've taken another second off him. 1.5 second gap between first and second. 1.3, 1.2. It's not going to happen, but that was the drive of the century from MCDC in those last 4 laps. That was incredible to watch. Congratulations to Brutal, the winner of Division 3 in our Round 6 Enduro, and to MCDC for an outstanding chase. We'll jump on with Molten Ash as he crosses the finish line here in 3rd position. Mackajack crossing in 4th. And then Palmer just a few seconds behind him in 5th with a good recovery after some unfortunate luck earlier. Hammy not far behind in 6th.
Oh, he's crossed the line with nothing left in the tank.
Packer in 7th. And it's going to be Tooligan in 8th. And unfortunately,
He looks like he's not having the best of time with the medium tyres at the moment.
yeah, that's right. We missed the action with Tooligan, but I think there was a little bit of a... it might have been an excursion there. And we've got Souls and Smurf and Evel as well, who have since crossed the line 1 lap down. So overall, a fantastic performance here from our Division 3 drivers. Absolutely bringing the action all the way down to the wire. So just fantastic skill from these guys.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. Pretty clean racing, and congratulations, Brutal. Great race from Brutal, lead from the front. And congratulations to Soul Slayer as well, 200 races, reaching that milestone. It's a huge accomplishment, and
Absolutely.
yeah, well done on that.
Yeah, Soul Slayer definitely. This has been a big goal for him for a while, so he's probably pretty thrilled to get this done and to have that against his name. Definitely a big milestone. So congratulations to our winners or our podium for Division 3 and to all of our drivers. Thanks for joining me in the commentary box here, Apex, for your first time.
My pleasure. Hopefully next time not so many technical problems, but really enjoyed it.
No, it's good to have you here, and Herb's on the visuals as well. Thanks very much, mate.
No worries. Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you once again to all of our sponsors as well. Thank you very much to our watchers and our listeners, and thanks very much to our Discord and our forum and all of our drivers. It's been great being here, and